The Murmur. Park Ranger Daniel Vance hated the Barren Creek sector. It wasn't just remote, it was empty. The Forest Service had stopped maintaining the trails there a decade ago. His task was a simple welfare check. Elias Thorne, an old prospector and borderline hermit, lived out there. He was supposed to check in by radio every Tuesday. He'd missed 3. The truck couldn't go the last 5 miles, so Daniel set off on foot. That's when he first noticed the silence. No birds, no insects, not even wind. The air was heavy and dead. The only sound was his own breathing and something else. A faint, low-frequency hum. A sound so low it was felt more than heard. A dull, persistent murmur, like a vast, distant machine. He tried his radio. "Elias, this is Ranger Vance. Do you copy?" The radio crackled. Beneath the static, he thought he heard it again. That same low murmur, now inside his radio. He pushed on, the murmur growing in his ears, until it was a physical pressure, a headache clamping down on his skull. He found Elias's cabin. It was wrong. The door was covered in marks, not scratches, words. "Elias?" Daniel called out, his hand on his service pistol. The door was ajar. The smell hit him first. Not rot, not death. Copper, like old wet pennies. He pushed the door open. The cabin was dark. Every surface was carved. The walls, the table, a tin cup. The words were all the same, repeated thousands of times. "The world is a flaw. It must be smoothed. Listen to the murmur." The sound was deafening in here. It was coming from the corner. An old radio broadcasting nothing but that thick, vibrating sound. He saw him in the corner. Elias Thorne was sitting on the floor, his back to the door, facing the radio. He was working. He was holding a bloody hunting knife and a small wooden bird. He was carving it. "Elias, drop the knife," Daniel said, his voice shaking. Elias slowly turned his head. Daniel screamed. The thing that was Elias opened its mouth, and a sound came out in time with the radio's hum. "The murmur is the correction," it rasped, a sound of wood scraping stone. "It told me the world is wrong. Too many details." Elias held up the bird. It was no longer a bird. It's just a smooth, oblong piece of wood. The details must be smoothed. Life is a flaw. Elias had dropped the wooden bird. He was carving the words into his own arm. "It's finished," Elias whispered, and finally went still. The cabin was silent, except for the radio, the murmur, the hum. Daniel lowered his gun. He walked toward the radio as if in a trance. He had to turn it off. He reached for the dial, but his hand didn't want to. The murmur was so clear now. It was telling him the truth. He picked up the bloody knife from the floor. It felt right. It felt clean. He looked at his own skin. So much detail. "The world is a flaw," he whispered, his voice harmonizing with the radio as he pressed the tip of the knife against the back of his own hand.